The diagram, everyone sees the diagram. She wants to put weed control over the garden. So this is the garden, okay? And she knows that the length of the garden bed is 4 times whatever the width is. Do you know the width of the garden? Look at the diagram. Are you told the width? Is there a number there? What did they put there for the width? Good. W, it represents the width. So if this is W, what would this be? W, okay? So we don't know the width. If let's pretend the width was 2, then the other side would be 2. But we're told that the length is 4 times whatever the width is. How do you show that? How do you represent 4 times the width? What is the width? What's the width? The width is W. No, we don't know the number. Okay, the width is W, and then the length. So this is the length. I want you guys to draw this rectangle on your paper. This is the length, and this is the length. Okay, whatever this is the same as that. The length is 4 times whatever the width is. So how would you write 4 times 4W? Good. 4W. So I want everyone to draw this on their paper. I want you to draw this. This is 4W. This is 4W. This is W, and this is W. Okay, just if you get confused. Okay, so question A says, what is an expression for the length? The length is 4 times the width. 4W. That's the length. That's it. Now we have to write an expression for the area of the garden. What shape is this? What shape is the garden? How do you find the area of a rectangle? Okay, so we're gonna plug these numbers in, these terms in, sorry. Length, what's the length of the garden? What's the length of the garden?
4.
No. 4W is the length. We talked about this already. 4W. And what's the width of the garden? W. We don't know it. Times W. You would not. The area is represented by 4W multiplied by W. We have to simplify this because that's not a simplified expression. I want you to simplify it. What is W times W? W to the power of, how many W's are there? 2. So this would be 4W to the power of 2. That's the answer. No. If I have 1 W and I multiply it by another W, I have W to the power of 2. What would this be? W times W times W. Good. What is 5 times 5? 25. Or you could write it as 5 to the power of 2. What's 5 times 5? 25. Okay. What's X times X? X to the power of? Good. So we're doing the exact same thing we just did. Write an algebraic expression for the area. First, you have to figure out what shape am I looking at. Okay, so what is the formula for area of a triangle? Okay, area of a triangle is equal to base times height divided by 2. Well, let's look at the diagram. Again, we're working with variables here. Don't freak out because you see letters instead of numbers. Just do the same thing you would. What's the base of this triangle?
2.
No.
2x.
2x is the base, so let's plug that in for base. And what is the height of the triangle? X. We take the base times the height, and then we take the answer, and we're going to divide it by 2, right? So how would you show? Good. We have 2x to the power of 2 because I'm multiplying x by itself twice, so it's to the power of 2. But now I have to take that and I have to divide it by 2, right? We have to divide by 2. The formula for area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. What happens to this 2 divided by 2? Cancels out, reduces to 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So we're just left with x squared. That's the answer. Okay. For 2b, we're told that this is k. Again, letters represent a number. We don't know what the number is. They've just put a letter there. It's a variable. And we have to find the area. Well, what shape is this? A square. How do you find the area of a square? Length times width. If this is k, what would the width be? It's a square, so all the sides are k, right? So area equals k times k. Good. What's k times k? K to the power of? That's it. That's the answer for B. What shape is this? Area of a? How do you find the area of a rectangle? Okay. What's the length?
H.
4h is the longer one. And what's the width? How would you show? This is exactly like what we just did, except it's an h instead of a w. Fifth use.
4h to the power
Of? Perfect. Area equals 4h to the power of 2. We want to find the perimeter. We're not doing area now. What is the perimeter of a shape? The total distance around the outside of a shape. So we need to know all the dimensions of the shape. If this is x, what's this?
X.
If this is 14, what's this side? 14 units. Oh no, it's centimeters. Okay, I'll just leave the units out. This is x centimeters. Okay. How do you find perimeter of a shape? To find the perimeter of any shape, you add up the length, the distance around the outside of the shape. So we have to add this, x plus, what else is on the outside of the shape? 14 plus, we have to add this, right? X plus 14. Does everyone agree that's the total distance around the outside of the shape? I have x plus 14 plus x plus 14. Now we have to simplify this. We have 1x here. This is 1x, right? I have 1x, and then I have another 1x. Can you make that smaller? Can you combine those together? How many x's do we have all together? Good. So I'm going to write, I have 2 x's, so I've used these, right? We've just made those smaller. Simplify means to make it shorter. Shorten the expression. And then I have a number. I have a 14, and I have another 14. What's 14 plus 14?
28.
Plus 28. Does everyone agree that these two represent the exact same thing? One's just shorter than the other?
Yeah.
That's the answer. The perimeter is 2x plus 28. That's it.
We don't add.
You cannot add these together because you have a variable. It's unknown. You can't take something that's unknown and add 28 to it. You can't combine terms that are not like terms. If this had a variable, you could add them together. Okay, Rain? But you can only add the terms together if they both have the same variable. If one of them doesn't have a variable, you just add those numbers together. If they have the same variable, then you add them together. So we're going back to the 3 shapes that we looked at, and we're finding the area now. Pay attention because you guys were having trouble with the area. So how do you find the area of a rectangle? Length times width. So the length of this rectangle is x, right? And the width is 14. How would you write an expression for x times 14? 14x. That's it. 14 times x is 14x. You would not write, look here, this is a big no-no. 14 times x. What's wrong with that? It's too confusing. It looks like you're writing 14xx. If you're multiplying a number and a variable, write them next to each other, or you can even just put them in brackets. I'll accept that as well. Correct centimeters. So it's 14x centimeters squared because the units were centimeters. Good. Okay, we're doing the exact same thing. Perimeter. If it's a square, this is 3y. What's this? What's this side? And what's this side? 3y. How do you find the perimeter? You're adding up all the sides. So I'm adding 3y plus 3y plus 3y plus 3y because there's 4 sides, right? I'm adding 3y 4 times. Equals? What's 3y plus 3y? 6y plus another 3y. 9y plus another 3y.
12.
That's the answer. That's it. Area is length times width. Daniel, what's the length of the square? 3y. And what's the width? 3y. How would you show 3y times 3y?
It's y times y. Y to the power of 2.
If this is 5x, it helps to label your diagram. If this is 5x, what's this?
5x.
If this side is 2x, what's this side? Okay, again, we're finding the perimeter. So I need to take 5x plus 2x plus 5x plus 2x. How many x's do I have altogether? 14 x's. That's the answer. Area is length times width. So we have 5x times 2x. Always multiply the numerical part first. You're multiplying. What's 5 times 2? What's x times x? X to the power of 2.